Okay, today we are going to continue our discussion of the parenting behavior verse. And we are going to start by talking about what are known as the distraction display. If you're bad and there is a predator around, what are you going to do? Well, for one thing, you're going to try to attract as little attention as possible, right? Because if the predator doesn't know you're there, it is not going to try to eat you. But sometimes certain species of birds do the exact opposite. When the predator approaches, they do their best to try to attract. Now, why would they do that? Well, they do that to draw the predator away from their nest, away from their eggs or their young birds. And the behavior that the birds engaging into the distract predator are called distraction displays. And there are a number of different kinds of distraction displays. Most of the time, when birds are engaging in distraction displays, they are going to pretending either they have injury or they are ill or they are exhausted. Something that the predator think, here's their needy meal. One pretty common distraction display was called the broken wing display. And in the broken wing display, the bird spreads and drags the wing or its tail. And while it does that, it slowly moves away from the nest, so it really looks like a bird with a broken wing. And this broken wing display can be pretty convincing. Another version of this kind of distraction display is where the bird creates the same impression of a mouse or some other small animal that's running around the ground. A good example of that kind of display is created by a call called the purple sandpiper. Now, what the sandpiper does is when a predator approaches, it drags its wings, but not to give it the impression that its wings are broken, but to create the illusion that it has a second pair of legs. And then it raises its feathers, so it likes it got a coat of fur. And then it runs around the ground, swirling left and right, like running around little rocks and sticks. And as it goes along, it makes a little squeezing noises. So for a distance, it really looks and sounds like little animals running around the ground trying to get away. Again, to the predator, it looks like an easy meal. Now, what's interesting is the birds have different levels of performance of these distraction displays. They don't give their top performance, their prime time performance every time. What they do is they save their best performance, their most conspicuous, most risky displays for the time just before the baby birds become able to take care of themselves. And the time that way, because that when that make the greatest investment in parenting their young. So they're not going to put their best performance just after they raise their egg because they have to invest that much time and parenting yet. The top performance is going to come later. Now we have some birds that are quite mature and quite capable almost as soon as they hatch. In that case, the parent will put on the most conspicuous distraction display just before the babies hatch. Because once the babies are hatched, they can pretty much take care of themselves. And then you have other birds that are helpless when they hatch. In that case, the parents will save the best performances until just before the babies get feathers.